was that he would be the father of a great nation. Now, Abram gets this word from God. God speaks to Abram. And then after God speaks to him, everything is diametrically in opposition to what God has spoke to him. Have you ever had God deal with you about something and everything circumstantially is the opposite of what God is saying to you?
Yes.
God is telling you about overflow and you're trying to figure out how to pay the gas and electric bill. And God is talking to you about health and healing, and everything the doctor's saying is that your cholesterol's too high and your blood pressure's too high and you're going to die of a heart attack or have a stroke. And then everything about your marriage, God's saying, I'm going to bless your home, and you and your husband are fighting like cats and dogs, and the man of your dreams is the boy of your dreams is the man of your nightmares, and all this kind of stuff. And you're up on a mountain and won't come down in the spirit, and then everything's circumstantially saying you're down in the valley and you can't get out. And so you're in the middle of stuff that is the complete opposite to what God's declaring to your life. And this is where Abram was at. And Abram said, I go childless. You told me I'd be the father of a great nation, and I don't have an heir other than that everything's going to pass to my major domo, Eliezer, he's going to inherit everything. And God tells Abram, basically, I want you to go outside. So obviously this complaint session was occurring in Abram's tent, which had 4 walls, you might say, and a ceiling. It was a place of containment. And sometimes we've got to understand something. We live in our little containers, and God has to drive us out of our container. There's just one simple thing that I'm going to give you for free tonight. That God will drive you out of your box.
Yes.
God will start moving you out of your little place of containment and your little security place that you've been at, and he will get you somewhere that he can talk to you about something bigger than what you have envisioned for yourself. Abraham had his mind on one thing, ultimately Isaac. So if you'll put it this way, Abraham had his mind on one star. And God says, get out of your container and look up.
Yeah.
And if you can, count the stars, because this is what I think
Amen.
about you.
Amen.
When I think about Abram, I think about the father of a great nation. And if you could count the stars, count them, because this is what your future looks like in my eyes. Abram was thinking about one star, Isaac. God was thinking about a universe.
Amen.
I just want you to understand, Jeremiah said it this way, for I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. He says in the 55th chapter of Isaiah, my ways are higher than your ways. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. You realize something? God's plans for you are bigger than your plans for yourself.
Yes.
Oh, you think you're so full of faith. Oh man, I just have such great faith. I have this, and here's Abraham. I've got, I'm believing you for this child. God's saying, you're believing me for a child. I already see a universe.
Yeah.
You're thinking about one star, I'm thinking about a universe. You're thinking about one child, I'm thinking about a nation. When God gets his thoughts to where you really take hold of what he's saying to you, you realize something, how small you really think. God wants to do something right here at this church that is absolutely beyond your thoughts. He wants to do something higher than your highest expectation. You're thinking, oh, I'm just believing God to fill the building up. God's saying, I'm thinking about filling the building up several times. You're thinking about, oh God, we want to see a great visitation. God's saying, I don't want to give you a visitation, I want to give you a habitation. You're thinking about, oh man, I just like to see, that we just have a good move of the Spirit every now and then. And God's saying, I want to loose a revival that'll shake people from the north and the south and the east and the west. And see, what you got to look at is you're thinking about a star and God's thinking about a universe. You're thinking about a child and God's thinking about a nation. And his thoughts are higher than your thoughts. His ways are higher than your ways. I remember when Kelly was starting out with Pastor Wigman, just a snotty-nosed young teenager, basically, and he had no idea the plans that God had for him. He was just trying to stay saved. Lord God, I'd have revival, Kelly be at the altar, repenting every night. Lord God, help me, Jesus. Set me free, Lord. And we get Kelly delivered one night, he'd come back on Tuesday night, we'd get him delivered all over again. Come back on Wednesday night, get him prayed through again. Come back on Thursday. By Friday, Kelly was doing pretty good. We'd had a real move of God if we got Kelly on the straight and the narrow. But 22 years later, he stands at the right hand of the man of God. He leads worship before thousands of people. He's preaching like a man from another world. Now, what am I talking about? When I met Kelly 22 years ago, if I would have told him, you're going to be doing this and doing this and doing this, he probably looked at me and said, I'm just trying to stay saved, preacher.
Yeah.
But God's plans were higher than his plans. God's thoughts were higher than his thoughts. God, he was thinking about a star, and God was thinking about a universe. He was thinking about, let me get through till Wednesday, and God's saying, I'm going to make you a man of God that will shake everything that can be shaken and will move mountains. And I want to tell you, at New Beginnings, you've got to get a hold of the dream that God has for your house.
Amen.
We got to get out of our containers. We got to get out of our boxes. We got to get out of our same old, as my wife would put it. We've got to begin to understand that God has something big and God has something great and God has something beyond our thoughts and our ways and our ideologies. It's just an interesting time that we begin to press through and walk in this generation. Psalms 139:17 says this, how precious to me are your thoughts, O God. How vast is the sum of them. See, somewhere your faith is going to rise up to where you actually can hear God. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Because most of us, we hear everything but God. We hear the howling of the wind and the storm, the lightning and the thunder and the problems and the words of doom and despair and the negative self-perceptions that we speak to ourselves, about ourselves. God saying here through the psalmist, how precious. The word precious means valuable, something worth preserving, costly. How precious to me are your thoughts. How vast is the sum of them. In other words, your thoughts, you just don't have a thought about it. You have thoughts about it. You're just not thinking about Isaac. You're thinking about Jacob and Esau. You're just not thinking about Jacob and Esau, but you're thinking about Benjamin and Joseph, Levi, Reuben, all the rest of them. You're just not thinking about those 12 men, but you're thinking about Joseph and how Joseph is going to go into Egypt in the midst of negative circumstances and arise by a miracle to the most powerful man on the planet next to Pharaoh. And how